Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from Breitbart. This is dated February 28th. It's by one of my favorite writers, John Nolte, which is part of the reason why I wanted to go ahead and comment on this. The article is entitled, Kathleen Kennedy Crushes Star Wars Fans Once Again by Not Retiring. And I know I'm a few days late on this, but I was on vacation, so this is the first chance I have to comment on this. And again, it's by John Nolte, so double excitement there in terms of who the writer is and what the news is. So yeah, I wanted to go ahead and say something. So if you remember a couple days ago, we all got the news that Kathleen Kennedy was retiring, and then she came out and was like, oh no, I think she just said she was finding a replacement, but I'm sure the article will go into it as like her finding a replacement will eventually lead to her retiring. But yeah, and she needs to go. I think everybody's been saying that for years. I mean, essentially, The Last Jedi was what ended it, and I could see that right there in the article. I haven't actually read the article, but I see the words The Last Jedi highlighted right there. But let's just get into it instead of me just blabbering on. This is the best news Star Wars fans have received since we watched in disgust as Luke Skywalker tossed away his father's lightsaber in The Last Jedi is that Lucasfilm would dump franchise serial killer Kathleen Kennedy by the end of the year, which, something that's has been said for, the last 5 years or so, at least. There's been, hundreds, if not thousands of YouTube videos out there saying, oh, she's retiring, or she's going to get, not retiring, but she's going to get dumped, or she's going to get fired, and it's never happened. So it seems like we're actually at, the home stretch of this really becoming a thing, regardless if she says she's not retiring. So it says, well, once again, Kennedy has decided to crush the hopes and dreams of Star Wars fans by announcing that she is not retiring. All the news about her retiring was fake news. Or is it? It says, after 6 paragraphs of far-left deadline shamelessly sucking up to Kennedy arguably is the most successful female producer, executive in Hollywood history, a first-ballot Hall of Famer, not someone who deserves to be batted around like a piñata. The corporate speak is off the charts. I don't really know if that's the case, and yeah, a little bit of virtue signaling there. I mean, but first ballot Hall of Famer, you're trying to say she's a shoo-in to be at some sort of Hall of Fame. I don't think I'd say that. This is like somebody having, riding the coattails of a better person, and I'm referring to Steven Spielberg, and then when she got put in charge of her own thing, just shat the bed. Okay? I mean, it's seriously like being a coach on great teams for a long time, and then when you're put in charge of the team, your teams all suck, and then this person's saying, oh no, she should be in the Hall of Fame. Are you sure about that? Because I don't think so. Let's continue. So the whole interview is premised on the news of her retirement as Lucasfilm boss being fake news. Here's her answer to the first question. And she said, the truth is, and I want to say loud and clear, I am not retiring. I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies. That is the first thing that's important to say. I am not retiring. Okay, so that seems pretty cut and dry. It says, okay, but then we get this. What's happening at Lucasfilm is I have been talking for quite some time with both Bob and Alan about what eventual succession might look like. Okay, that makes sense. So she's just, did the article say how old she was? Did I already blank that out of my head? Sorry, I'm recording this very early in the morning because I couldn't go back to sleep, or just, not that I couldn't go back to sleep, I just couldn't fall back asleep. So a little tired right now, but anyway, no, it didn't say it, but she is 71, so naturally she's thinking about retiring. I can totally understand that regardless of what your occupation is at that age. And let's continue. It says, and then later in the interview, we get this exchange. It says, Deadline said, how far down the road do you expect before a change gets made? And then you go off and produce these two big Star Wars things. Kennedy said, we'll probably make an announcement months or a year out, and I have every intention of sticking around to help that person be successful. I'm already producing the Mandalorian movie, and Sean Levy's is after that. Well, if you want the movie to be successful, or sticking around to help that person, your successor be successful, you probably shouldn't be there because you've, again, shat the bed completely here. So it says the change here is Kennedy stepping down as Lucasfilm boss months or a year out. Then, at the end of the interview, when asked if she will exit as Lucasfilm boss this year, she says, we really don't know at this stage. There's so much going on, Mike. I don't know. So, the Disney Grooming Syndicate is looking for a successor. She could be gone by the end of the year. But it's still fake news that she could be gone by the end of the year. Right. Yeah, there's a bunch of contradictions here, but I kind of get what she's trying to say. It's just yes, I'm retiring, but from like Lucasfilm and whatever. But like I see what she's saying. So the whole interview is Exhibit A and how the Penske media monopoly kisses up to big entertainment business. They want access, they want the advertising dollars, so they act as publicists with questions like this. And the question being, this flurry of press coverage, it sounds like chaos. What's the reality? So when you read the interview, you can actually hear the echo that comes from the interview being stuck so far up Kathleen Kennedy's ass. Nice. It says, me, I'm done with Star Wars, and so am I. I was excited when Force Awakens came out, and I think I've said this in other videos. I watched it. The first time I watched it, I think it was just like there hadn't been Star Wars content in so long that it was just like, this is awesome and great. And I truly enjoyed the movie. And then I saw it a second time, and I was like, I still enjoyed it, but I was like, wait a minute. This is A New Hope over again. Like it's basically the same plot. And then I saw The Last Jedi. I saw both of those movies with my older nephew. And The Last Jedi, I remember in the middle of the movie, like I was trying hard to not fall asleep, and I was like, what am I watching? And I was bored by a lot of it. And at the end, I remember asking my nephew, I'm like, what'd you think by it? He's very, and sorry if you're hearing this, he's very like monosyllabic, and especially back then. So you ask him something to be like, yeah or no. He was 12 at the time, but I was like, so what'd you think about the movie? And he's like, it wasn't good. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of felt the same way about that. And I never saw Rise of Skywalker. In fact, like I figured if he was going to ask me, my nephew that is, to go see the movie, I'd be like, let's go, fine, I'll go see it, But this time I was like, nah, no. I was like, I hope he doesn't ask me. And then one day he was just like, I don't want to see that. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And I haven't seen it. So there we go. And I haven't watched any of the Disney Plus stuff because I do not have Disney Plus. I do not pirate things. It's just just something I'm against in principle. But yeah. So that's my Star Wars thing for the last decade or so. So continuing on, finishing up, it says, no one told me this would require a 50-year commitment. So I have no emotional investment in whether the Star Wars ship is ready or not. What I do want to see is Kennedy face some accountability for her indefensible stewardship and destruction of two once invincible franchises. I totally forgot about Indiana Jones, but that's the other one besides Star Wars. And that means losing her job. And she should have lost her job a while ago. How she's been able to stay on this long, I mean, as people have said, like, she has to have dirt on somebody or somebodies. Okay? Continuing on, finishing up the last, one sentence here. It says, afterwards, she'll strut around as the emperor with no clothes, and her sycophants in the media will pretend she's not naked by bestowing awards and tributes upon her, but we will know. Normal people will know. Yeah, so I agree with this. I mean, again, she should have been out a long time ago. I don't know why she's still there. Like if she's considering retiring now, it should just be like, who can we get in there like right now? And you need to get somebody who's an actual fan of the property, someone who wants to see it succeed, and not just be bringing in activists and people who just don't know what Star Wars is. Okay, so that's my 2 cents. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Do you think she's going to retire sometime soon or not? Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.